There we go. Cool. Alright, we are all set. Alright, well I haven't been flying BCs in a while and I want to jump into BC. So we're going to start off with that. Alright, I'll take it. Velocity penalty sucks, I'll take it though. Take it right in the face. You were so pissed yesterday. What made you pissed yesterday, Noel? That poor communication, like losing the hurricane and such? If so, I'm sorry. Just this is how I like to do things, ideally, when I'm streaming. I usually prefer to not be in comms, that sort of thing, and I know it can be really frustrating as far as communication is concerned. It pretty much means that you need to be comfortable kind of fending for yourself and reporting in fleet chat. But yeah, that hurricane, like, you're asking for help. Like, we're not in the same system. I tried to warp you multiple times, and I realized you weren't in local. Dinkle, just promise to keep uploading to YouTube. I promise, Dinkle. Oh, logistics? Scrammed unable to get him. Oh, I'm guessing when I was in the Hyperion? Yeah, well, I ended up getting the logistics ship, and I could have just MJD'd and got away if I wanted to, but yeah. That was a kind of a weird fight. What bothered me is that it looked like it was a three-way, but in reality it was a two-way. So, a little bit frustrating. Yeah, single ancillary booster Cyclone. Hey, Pocky. That's not the fitting. Here's the fitting. Yeah, Cav, this is a burst tank. It's not a sustain tank with the crystals yet. I'm rocking this without any implants. No implants at all. I used to do this with a 1% implant before before CSP introduced the compact MWD. It's just a different way of approaching it. So, I with this fitting, I'm a lot more offensive and defensive. Whereas with the sustain tank with an extra ancil booster, you know, you're more brawling, and you have less ability to move around and to disengage. With the MGD, it allows you to be a lot more aggressive in roaming. It allows you to aggressively position yourself or defensively position yourself and get away from a lot of situations where you wouldn't be able to get away from otherwise. So, I mean, with the metagame right now, with like lots of fast-moving ships, with lots of skirmishing ships that use long points versus scramblers, the MGD actually can be better for your longevity for actually surviving a fight than a sustained tank. So, if you've never played with an MJD with your battlecruisers, I actually highly recommend it. It's pretty cool. A toilet brush? Okay. I guess. That's a skin I'd have to see from CCP, the Cyclone toilet brush skin. I don't know, the Cyclone feels too chunky to be a toilet brush for me, Baki. Whistler. Oh, sure, Cav. I mean, I mean, I have my own pirate implant sets. I have my own link alt. Blah blah blah. Typically, when I'm actually streaming PvP, I prefer to be a lot more casual about it. I prefer to be a lot more aggressive about it. I'm looser with the fights I choose. So this particular fitting, it's great for roaming. There's actually a warp speed rig on here, so it probably shaves off 10 seconds for every single warp I get into, maybe 5 to 10 seconds by adding that onto the ship. This fitting is really good against the metagame. It's highly mobile. It can deal with smaller ships quite effectively. It doesn't require me. It's not very reliant at all on gain links. The only gain link that would really benefit it greatly is skirmish. So it gets by quite effectively. Whereas if I was to do like a dual XL ASB, I'd be more inclined to say run around with expensive implants or what have you. With this style fitting, it doesn't really require you to have expensive implants. I can very comfortably fly around without implants, let myself get potted, immediately go back to my my staging system, jump into ship, and immediately get right back to roaming. So it's just about it. For flying this style fit, it's really just about picking your fights effectively. But on the flip side, it actually, with the MGD, it affords you a lot of maneuverability and ability to get away from engagements that don't really work out for you. Yeah, Cav, you're on that hype train, that the Tech 3 Destroyer hype train. I refuse. I refuse to get sucked into that. I'm not a huge fan of the Tech 3 Destroyer concept. Well, the concept I'm a fan of. I'm not a fan of how they've been implemented. I don't like how they're alpha predators, and they don't really fit a niche. They're just the best destroyer slash. They completely remove from any reason for use for assault ships. That was a really fun sentence to try to cram together. They completely displace assault ships from the metagame. There's no reason to fly assault ship when you can fly a Tech 3 destroyer. They're insurable. They're just amazing. There really should be more of a choice than more of a kind of a risk versus reward of flying them, but there isn't. So I prefer to kill them than fly them. Saw this yesterday, but you're busy flying, so we're gonna post it. What's this? Oh yes, yes. Take that, Dapper Kitty. Very nice, Kevin. Kevin, you're a jerk, by the way, Mister. I'm gonna fly my comet and tackle you. Big fat jerk. Don't think I didn't notice you tackling me the other day. You're like the only person in that entire engagement that actually wanted to scramble me. Actually fit a scrambler and scrambled me. Good on you, Kevin. Good on you. Yeah, the insurance on Tech 3 destroyers shouldn't be that good. Like, I probably wouldn't feel as strongly about Tech 3 destroyers as I do now if it didn't have the insurance. I had to maintain my cover. Nice. I didn't mean to go to unlock. Wasn't thinking. What is your deal? Okay. Hey, Aaron Monkey. Yeah, passive tanking Tether destroyers. Yeah, it's honestly incredibly annoying. I think it's a bit disgusting. I quite like that. For the most part, Tech 3 destroyers with good tanks are active tank, so they actually have the vulnerability to energy neutralizers. Having like some absurd passive bomb tank with shields is infuriating to me. I know the Jackdaw pretty much has the same sort of deal going on with the Sequel. Maybe the Sequel has better HP per second recharge, but the Jackdaw I think has a lot bigger buffer, has more room for a buffer. I understand that. I don't often look at Tech 3 destroyers for theory crafting. Ishtar, huh? So far, no tracking camera bug. It's nice. Makes this a hell of a lot easier. Oh, is the Ishtar really inside this medium facility? I would be so distraught if that were the case. Let's assume that he is shield tanked. It's probably a bad assumption. Hey, watch the spot. Come on, be on the outside. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, he's already burning away. Oh, it's this group. Yeah, it's too bad. I wasn't expecting this group. Alright. I need to set standings with these guys. This isn't the first time that these guys have been doing this to me. Okay, so the issue is that they're multiple organizations. Oh, they're just gonna leave my pod here. Okay, well, you do that. So it's like about the third or fourth engagement I've had with those guys. I was engaging them yesterday. They fly like yesterday when they were flying around. They had a rapier. They had a kitsune. They just have a really strong skirmishing composition. They always fly with links. Blah blah blah. It's very difficult to deal with. It's very very difficult to deal with. What's even more frustrating to me is that you had things like the stiletto coming in super close. You had the Omen Navy shoe coming in super close. But with the link speeds, even though like those guys drifted in like 6 kilometers, by the time I actually cycle a scrambler on them, I have a window of like a second to get tackle onto them. If I don't get tackle onto them, then it's pointless because they're just going to coast right out of my tackle range. So a little bit frustrating. Other thing that's pretty frustrating is just using the offensive MJD there. That leaves me without the good option of disengaging. So, yeah. It's kind of fun to see the stiletto pilot growing as a tackler. So he doesn't really need to be doing scrambles as he does. He doesn't need to be maintaining a scramble unless I'm right next to an MJD. He just needs to be watching for the MJD animation. He can also just idle at like around 13 to 15 km with links, if he has links. But it does mean he has to be overheating if he's using a Metaphor or Tech 2 scrambler. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, that's another thing with the crash booster penalty that I got. A velocity penalty did not help me at all there. Yeah, the Ishtar definitely had link. They all had links. A shield Ishtar goes about 1600 ms. So the 2k per sec is link speed. I was okay with that. I didn't anticipate him being with that particular crowd. Those guys are a new addition to Cormonen. This is what I'm talking about with the Cyclone, though, in this fitting. So, for example, with the sustain tank, yeah, it would allow me to stick around a bit for quite a bit longer. You know, you had your own links, you have your own crystal pill. Like, they wouldn't be able to break me all that fast. But it if they play it smart, then there's absolutely nothing you can do, and they just beat you down anyway. So, if anything, because I'm not running with faction implants, that sort of thing, I can immediately just reship and go start looking for a different engagement. Salt, we just started. Got a fight with some dudes that are dwelling in Cormonen. Didn't really go my way at all. Honestly, you don't see solo Ishtars. Ishtars aren't really good solo ships, Kavos. Kavazos. I think the only real good fit for Ishtar solo is armor tank. And people are loath to do that with an Ishtar. Zhao Amadeus came up with a really cool shield Ishtar though, and I'm quite happy about it. It's a triple drone damage amplifier with a double large ancillary shield booster. Pretty cool fitting if you enjoy brawling. It's a good alternative to armor brawling. That doesn't need geckos, new bits. Doesn't need geckos at all. What drugs am I using? I'm using Crash and Blue Pill. The Blue Pill's for the shield boost amount. The Crash increases my application to smaller targets. It also increases application to moving targets. You know, another thing that could have got me out of that fight, given that if you guys noticed, they did not even touch the MJD, the mobile MJD. When I anchored the MJD, I should have stuck right next to it. Should have stayed right next to it instead of burning away from it. If I didn't burn away from it, I pretty much would have been fine. I would have spanned MJD and gotten away. Given that the stiletto doesn't seem to really like to stay within scramble range. But for the time being, I'm going to avoid that gang. That gang, I can't really touch their links. They nuzzle it up right against a station. And I can't really dick too much with their fleet composition, so I just need to look for other fights. I might go to Hulub. I'm not going to stick around and get a fight in Cormonan with them. That's why I sit standings with them. I just can't really deal with it solo. Not on this ship, anyway. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating though about brawling. If you enjoy being brawling is kind of a thing of the past. You don't really brawl these days. Brawling is a good way to get yourself killed in today's metagame. The laser dummy. Laser dummy would be okay. The biggest problem with that is the rapier. With gang links, the rapier is webbing from around 80 km. They have an Omen Navy issue, which means they have decent damage from 40 km. Ishtar means they're going to have another source of decent damage from however the fuck away he wants to be launching his drones and using them km. And then they have a tackle in the form of the stiletto and a decent potential for another EAS and the Kitsune pilot. It's a nasty composition. If anything, I need friends. I don't need a particular ship. I just need friends in my own game links, or to kill their game links and then start engaging them. Like, I'd be more than happy to engage that gang if they didn't have gang links. It'd be a lot easier for me to get on top of things or to get away from things. I've taken my Vargo to kill a destroyer because it gets so little use. Well, that's up to you, dude. If you feel it gets so little use, then flat more. Cavazos, I think those guys take a lot of engagements. I don't know if they dodge from equal fights, but it seems that they take a lot of engagements. I have no idea. I think they're just playing the game right. If anything, you could say that I'm playing the game wrong. I should have a link alt. I should have pirate implants. I should have a gang behind me. I should be doing exactly what they're doing. But I don't like to. Oh, have you poked at them in the past and all? Yeah, type high. That's pretty much it, right? All right. Ah, you know what? I didn't insure my last cyclone. I don't think I insured it. Fuck. Whoopsies. I need to insure this one. I didn't insure it. Fuck. Okay. Honestly, didn't lose out on that much ISK. The basic insurance, because you don't pay into it, isn't all that bad, but do it really quick. Fuck. Oh my gosh, type high. What do you mean boring? Oh my gosh, no. These guys are playing Eve right. Let me put it out there. They're playing Eve right. Oh, come on, guys. It's not boring. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Dude, the micro gang, small gang stuff, like running around with a couple guys, 5 guys, and then just scooping up all the fights that you're comfortable taking on. It's some of the best PvP you can get in this game. It's some of the most enjoyable PvP I've ever had in this game. So no need to be bitter about stuff. Your stream is synced with me going to bed. I'm gonna start watching the stream on my tablet, and I really shouldn't. Oh, come on. Ikenerac, you can't do that to me, man. Because I don't feel bad. You should feel bad. I don't feel bad, though. Why does this Falcon have to be neutral? Didn't get the bump off. Come on, warp. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, you piece of crap. Come on. There you go. The guy has about 40 seconds left on, well, he has about the same weapons timer as me. Don't be warping, don't be warping, don't be warping. Don't be warping, don't be warping. You piece of shit, god damn it. Burak, I'm assuming that they're asleep. Looks like the guy went to a say for a pounce tactical. Not actually warping to the gate. 100 km isn't exactly his optimal either. It's too bad. I was hoping that I'd just get lucky on the jams. It's too bad. Worth a shot, worth a shot. Small game PvP without launching E seems incredibly fun. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I like to always point this out whenever people complain about ECM. I fucking love flying ECM. I find it incredibly enjoyable to be flying around in a Falcon. I don't really do it all that often, but when I do actually fly around in a Falcon for small gang stuff, it's incredibly rewarding. Like, you're wielding a lot of power when you're running around with a good racial ECM Falcon. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, never mind. I don't know. I don't care either. A Bantam with 250 million is fitting today. Drugs and crystals. 300 DPS tank. 97 DPS. 100 and 1200 speed with the scram. A Bantam? Didn't realize the Bantam even had hard slots for guns and stuff. Huh. I'm surprised you're getting that much DPS out of it. It only has one drone. That's kind of silly. Yeah, I find it funny too, Ramona. An augmented hobgoblin. What was this for? Hey, Kennerak, what was this for? I feel like I'm missing something. Nah, that sounds a little bit right. More correct, Kennerak. Yeah, it's pretty crazy the stuff you can do with implants and expensive modules in links. I guess what bothers me the most about that style of gameplay, just doing stuff like that, is it's actually very easy to do these days. ISK is a lot more easy to come by. It's nice, and it's also kind of makes me sad. If you were to do that, say 5 years ago, like that would surprise the hell out of people. These days it'd be surprising, but I mean, especially with the game links. Game links are just a dime a dozen. I mean, if you're peeping without game links, you're kind of crazy. Yeah, it's so much fun. Nice. So I haven't been to Hatazoko this time of the day in a while. There's a corporation that camps there between Ardar and Hatazoko. And they are incredibly frustrating. The type of camp that they run, they have pretty much a logi ship for every combat ship. They have a bonus scram ship that's going to be able to scram you from like 18 km away. You can't MDD away from it. It's very frustrating. It's infuriating to try to deal with alone. And they're the kind of organization where you might be able to kill like a logi ship, but who cares? It's like a 20 million ISK T1 cruiser. It's the sort of organization that you really want to have like some sort of a really good organized Blops drop or a Titan bridge to knock them out effectively from what they're doing. You killed 2 Steeples with your whole tank Talos today. Was it a small gun Talos, Newbits? I think they normally camp during EU time zone, Barak. That's why I'm kind of curious what I'm gonna see over here. So it does look like there's some activity over in Hatazoko, but I don't anticipate it this time of the day. So I'm kind of curious who's actually there and if there's any good activity. I haven't been going this path in a while because they just kill me. Large guns. Oh wow! Congratulations. That's pretty impressive. That's all neutral to me. Hmm. Guess we can... Like, no one's suspect. I don't have standings with any of these guys. I don't really anticipate getting a fight. At any of these other plexes. Yes, you got it right, Taipai. It's either a command ship or a Tech 3 cruiser. Those are the... Well, command ship, Tech 3 cruiser, or a battle cruiser. Those are the 3 types of ships that can use... Well, you can also put it on carriers. Those are the 4 types of ships that can use warfare links. It's typically on a command ship or a Tech 3 cruiser, though. And it's usually an alt account that is idling on a station or a gate, or circling around a POS, something like that. You don't typically have like an individual behind the keys for a gang link ship. Right, so a command ship can use 3 gang links without having to use extra modules to fit the stuff. Tech 3 cruisers, they don't have fitting bonuses for additional modules, so they actually have to, essentially, if they're going to have multiple gang links, they have to really gimp their fitting. But that's okay, because the way that they're flown in a very risk-averse fashion. So they'll be like right on top of the station, right on top of the gate. The moment someone starts locking up, or the moment something scary comes, they just dock up, or they jump through, something like that. It used to be very popular to run around with unprobable setups when they were still improbable. You can still have a really difficult to scan setup, where the only way to scan it down is with virtues. But those aren't near as popular these days. Most people just put them on stations, or they put them on gates. Which is cool. They're a lot easier to deal with, but they're still like all over the place. Like I would say about 2/3 of gangs that you're going to run into, at bare minimum, are going to have a link all associated with them in low sec. Maybe a third to half of all individuals are going to have a link alt associated with them in low sec. It's really prevalent, and it's honestly kind of disgusting. You just end up having a situation where you have the haves and the have-nots of running a link alt. But that's a discussion that's very easy to get a whole bunch of people talking about. So let's move away from gang links. Well, it looks like the only show in town is going to be the guys over in Cormonan. That's a little bit frustrating, because they kind of have me figured out. I use MJDs, go scram them, and you kill them. Barack, like most game mechanics that have not been addressed in a couple of months since they've been, since CCP's been on their quick release schedule, there's a lot of things, including gang links, that CCP hasn't been touching in anticipation for reworks of pretty much the systems or the code behind in the background of the game. So they have a new thing that they're developing called Brain in the Box. I forgot the other rewrite they're doing for the backend stuff, but the big thing that CCP is looking at right now is addressing how skills are calculated in the game. And it pretty much affects everything that a player does in the game. So what I'm talking about is, like, every server tick, the game engine itself will look at your skills. It will look at all of your skills, and it will reapply it to your ship and make sure that you're able to do what, it'll reapply everything you're doing and make sure you're able to actually use this gun or use this nuke or use these drones, all that sort of stuff. It does this for everything, every player and every system. So they're looking at redoing some of the back-end code for the game. And until they have that done, there's a lot of systems and mechanics in the game that they pretty much don't want to touch because it'd be a wasted effort in anticipation for this new rework. It's really frustrating, though. There's so many systems in the game that really have a lot of low-hanging fruit of either balance changes or mechanic changes that wouldn't take too long to implement, or shouldn't take too long to implement. But unfortunately, there's no desire or drive in CCP to adjust these systems, again, because of these impending updates to the game. Hey, Teddy. Okay, that was more people in Cormonan than was in here before. Oh, they're fighting Asylum? Yeah, it's all Asylum, guys. It looks like they killed the Asylum guys. There's that Kitsune. Okay. I hate this station model so much. It looks like it should be a lot easier to mess with, but I'll show you what I mean in a moment. I don't even have this guy's standings. So normally when this guy is nestled in here, oh, he has a Higgs on him. Looks like he has a Higgs on him. Bumping this guy's a bitch. He might actually have a Higgs on that thing. Yeah. Anyway, the guy's awake, so. But anyway, normally when those guys have the Proteus or whatever on that station, like, it'll be right against the station model, and if you try to bump it off, the station model extends past that, so he's actually inside the station model. It can be incredibly frustrating to try to bump off. Well, also, when you bump something with a Higgs, you can get him past 100 ms. Definitely get him past 100 ms. I would be surprised if he had a Higgs fit to that thing, though. It can just be very difficult to bump Tech 3s. I don't often bump Proteuses. I don't know how difficult they are. He just stocked it up, it looks like. Maybe he went to mid-system, who knows. Yeah, he just stocked it up. When this gang links Corm, their links are very easy to gank. I've killed the boosting Tengu a number of times. Yeah, Cormonan does have a lot of decent stations to put leave your links at. Does Eve only use one CPU core? I think it uses more than one. I can actually check that really quickly. I don't think it's highly optimized for more than one core. Let me see here. I'm actually not sure because I'm using OBS and it's very difficult for me to figure out what core Eve is using. Because of legacy code, I'd imagine it's mostly one core. It's mostly a one core sort of deal. It doesn't really eat up that much CPU though. It's not a very CPU intensive program. There's the bug. Okay. That's right after jump through the gate. Where's this? There it is. Projectile's so small, huh? Let's see if he's on the outside. But honestly, Barack, I think it's more of a matter of if you're looking to deal with links, you just need a friend and just get some tornadoes. Like 2 to 3 tornadoes would deal with most link fittings, especially for Tech 3 cruisers. People don't normally put tank on their Tech 3 cruisers. And it can be actually fairly difficult to deal with a person that is using RD tornadoes to snipe your links, your Tech 3 links. You have to be like watching the account. That doesn't look all that active. Oh, hi. All that just undocked. And Orthros makes quick work of what, link alts? Yeah, it definitely could. It's kind of disgusting how effective the Orthros is with light missiles. Yeah, the 20% damage bonus on the Orthros is not a good idea on CCP's part. It really could use something different. Whether that be a rate of fire bonus or a combination rate of fire damage bonus, something like that. It's too much of a damage bonus. That's not one Vexer. That's Sawyer. Didn't see where the vector warped off to. Oh, look at that dual rep tank. A Stardate, really? Oh my. Surely that's someone's links. Yeah, it's someone's links. I'd imagine that's Sawyer's links, honestly. What the hell's the station icon these days? Is that it? Is that one of them? No, it's just the customs office. A very hard time distinguishing what's a station near me. That's a station. That's a gate. There's two stations near me. It's not that one. Damn it. I guess I could just align to them. That's a station? Oh, that's just a lighting issue. Okay. So that, yeah, the start is off. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just imagining you're laughing. Yeah. These guys have been talking to me since that gank. Seems that they're good people. Like I said, don't be bitter about losses. Grim's a smart guy. He's probably watching, honestly. It's okay if you were. Just want to make sure everyone's on it. No, I didn't get the capsule out! No! Dreamcast, no! Yeah. Oh, Vexter's back on scan. Is Vexter on close? Yeah, Vexter's close. Vexter's probably going to be landing shortly. That's Sawyer. What's up, Sawyer? He's immediately warping. Don't blame him. Sletto would have been had a little bit more on the ball, but even then, probably wouldn't be fast enough. Hey, Queenie. A rapid reload bonus? Oh, I didn't understand what you meant, Ramon. I thought you were talking more about the jackdaw, but then I just realized you're suggesting that for the Orthrus. Oh, gosh. Something I thought that was kind of curious, Finn, for the Fits and Giggles stream last night that Squeebles was hosting on Sal's channel, that's a mouthful, Finn donated a jackdaw with a rapid light missile launcher. What surprised the fuck out of me was the fact that the jackdaw with a rapid light missile launcher actually doesn't have much more DPS than a normal light missile launcher. It's like maybe 10 more DPS, 15 more DPS per launcher. It's not a lot. It really blew my mind. That might not be a bad idea, honestly. And I guess the thing that bugs me is that it really would force the Orthrus into being this niche kind of rapid light ship. I mean, it's all you ever fly, but it's more because rapid lights as a weapon system is still too powerful, even with the reload bonus and the changes to the system. I think there's ways that CSP could address that, but as of right now, it's I'd still like there to be bonuses that would enable you to perhaps use hams or heavy missiles into the future. That'd still be worthwhile for those types of weapon systems. Quinny, yeah, I wouldn't, as a weapon system in and of itself, I wouldn't call them overpowered. I would say that on certain ships, they're probably too powerful. And I think, even though I wouldn't call them overpowered, I think they're too good. If you know what I mean. Well, they made interceptors overpowered, so they need to do. Oh, how are interceptors overpowered? What makes an interceptor overpowered, Romana? I remember all you would see is Ishtar Crow blobs. Oh, Romana, it's actually only recently that I realized that Precision's had a minus 50% flight time in comparison to normal ammunition. That kind of blew my mind. I feel like that's bullshit. I don't think that should be as severe of a penalty to that. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff with missiles I think I needed to know more about, but with the whole missile modules being introduced to the game, the application, the guidance computers and enhancers for missiles, I've been starting to populate a spreadsheet for looking at how missiles apply to various ships and various configurations, with gang links, without gang links, with implants, without implants, blah blah blah, against different classes of ships, like pretty much all classes of ships with all types of missiles. I'm really curious what this is going to mean if you add modules like that into the game. Precision cruise missiles? Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. Cruise missiles, I feel, already have a very healthy range. So if you have precision cruise missiles that cut the range in half, for Raven, Raven has a range with cruise missiles of like 250 kilometers anyway. You know, it doesn't really make a difference if you drop from 250 to 125. It's still like well and above the normal range for the Raven. You're normally engaging around, 100 km less. It's not that big of a deal. The only time it's a big deal is if there's like a long flight time associated with something and something's burning away from you. But on light missiles and heavy missiles, precisions are kind of crappy. I doubt there'll be much reason to use those types of modules on a Caracal. I mean, what it will do for light missile ships and rapid light missile ships, it will make it less reliant on a webifier to apply perfectly. I mean, you already apply pretty well without any tackle onto small ships if they're not gang linked. Good fight. Surprised I didn't use these SAM drones. Yeah, get neutered. Yeah. I was really not sure what I should be doing. If I should be in the small newt range and get more damage on me, or get that extra newt pressure onto him. I think the extra newt pressure is the way to go. Yeah, die most. Yeah, this is high sec. I had suspect. I'm suspicious, Queenie. For some reason, I'm more suspicious than your thief butt. Then again, I think you're an outlaw, so you're always suspicious. But yes, I'm suspicious right now. You can run a rapid light serb at... Do they actually have attributes for the modules now? I'm sorry. Do they have attributes for the low slot and mid slot modules now? You guys are all spouting out numbers. I thought that was all conjecture. The serb is plenty fast, Queenie. Don't give me that crap. It's not a slow. It's not necessarily a slow ship. It's not like a combat cruiser slow. Okay, so all the numbers y'all are throwing around is just conjecture. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm worried about it. Every time it gets brought up, I mentioned to you guys that I'm worried about it. I'm really worried that they're going to give significant explosion radius bonuses to those modules. If they do that, I'll be so sad. Because explosion radius is kind of broken when you mess with it. Explosion velocity, on the other hand, as far as application bonuses go, I think that's something that you can safely put onto a module that's scriptable and overheatable and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't do a lot to kind of change the tiers of missiles. And all the kind of the range stuff you can do with missiles, I don't really care too much about. You can already do that with rigs. I don't think super long range missiles is that big of a deal. A serb is not slow. What's the base speed on a serb, like, what, 1700, something like that? It's not that slow. Just because it's not an Orthrus or it's not a Synball doesn't mean it's slow. Don't give me that crap. I'm pretty sure the base speed on the serb is 1700. Let me double check that. I think I get like 800, 1800, 1900 with a nano, something like that. Cerberus. So if I take off this nano, the base speed of the MDD, it's like 1750. Yep. It's not slow at all. If it doesn't do 3 km per second slow, yeah, okay, whatever, Queenie. Whatever. I'm not talking about Lynx either. So with Lynx, it's probably be going 2600, 2700. Oh no, it's not. It's a couple hundred ms slower than what Queenie prefers in his broken overpowered ships. Whatever. God, people are so spoiled with what they have in their ship attributes these days, and their faction cruisers. Faction cruisers go like all of them. They go way too fast. They all need a nerf back. Everyone needs to go like 1 km per sec. All ships 1 km per sec with MVD. And I need to have 90% webs back as well. I want my battleships to reign supreme. Sar, do you have a Tech 1 cruiser into Dixie? Not fit. No. What's up? Yeah, I haven't been flying T1 cruisers in a long time, Grim. Kind of got tired of them as a ship class for doing solo stuff. They don't have the longevity that I desire. Hundred MN MGD with an Ishtar. I've never. Does the Ishtar have the fitting for that? I guess it does. Hmm. Okay. Drugs are down. What to fly? You know what? I'm gonna fly Merm, and I'm gonna fly a Merm that some people have been talking about recently that they'd like to see. So let's do that. Get those vitally important stuffs in there. Let's get going. I've done 100 MN MVD with an Oracle, not worth it. I can't imagine why. So I decided to actually relook at the triple rep Merm, and I came to the conclusion I can actually fit a medium nude on it. So it's not going to be spitting out the DPS that I like, but it's definitely going to have a hell of a lot more tank than I'm used to, and it's mostly sustained tanks, so it should be a little bit of fun. I'm still rocking. I'm substituting one of my aux pumps for a warp speed rig, so I'm going to have that mobility that I enjoy. We're not going to have an MGD on it. Unfortunately, triple rep consumes way too much cap for that, but I do still have the nuding power to deal with Tech 3 destroyers and smaller ships that I'd like to have, and it's going to make up for my lack of drone damage amplifiers, hopefully. And between 2 cap boosters, I should have the capacitor, more than enough capacitor to fuel the newts and the reps. The triple rep Merm, unless it's under nuke pressure, it's notoriously cap stable, so should be fun. We'll see how well it performs. 90 seconds to get the full speed on 100 MN What? That's insane. No, let's look at the fit. Let's look at the Dymos. Actually forgot to do that. Okay, ion blasters. Yep, that's normal. Mid slot's normal. Dual armor up. This is a fantastic fitting. As far as the Navy 400s, I'm not a fan of using Navy 400s. There are schools of thought of using going between 400s and 800s. That 400s are better if you're going to be under newt pressure because they you can inject them between newt cycles. The problem I have with that is that you're far less cap stable in general. You're not boosting as much capacitor. So in my eyes, it's always a better idea to go with 800s. So some people swear by it. Some people swear by using the smaller boosters, the larger amount of smaller boosters. I am of the opinion that just injecting your cap with a larger booster charge is going to be more effective against energy neutralization. The big problem that I have with using 400s on medium cap booster is the cycle time. So when you're using 400s, you're going to be able to load, I believe, 3 Navy 400s into a medium cap booster. So then you're going to have this cycle time of 12 seconds for each 400, and then you're going to have the reload. Whereas if you're doing a single 800, you're going to have the cycle time and then a 10-second reload. You're actually injecting quite a bit. You're injecting, I think, it's not, was it? It's something like, so what is that ratio? It's 3 400s for every 2 800s, something like that. It's probably fairly close to that. So in the raw amount of cap that you're injecting into your tank, I prefer to have an 800. Cargo wise, they're exactly the same. You don't get extra capacitor in your ammo per load of cap booster charges. So it's really just a matter of what the capacitor needs of your ship are. Yeah, and Brock, with the dual medium armor repair tank, and also the innate fantastic cap recharge on a hack, 400s aren't bad at all in a Deimos. I think it really just comes down to making sure that all neutralizer cycles never actually take away cap from your injected booster charges, and I don't think that's something you can ever really account for when you're running multiple booster charges and you're trying to get as much cap as possible. I'm not a fan of it, but some people swear by it. I don't think armor hardeners. I think they have a way shorter cycle time than 20 seconds. I don't often use active armor hardeners. Let's see here. Explosive. Yep, 20-second. No, you're absolutely right, Ectoplasm. It's been a long time since I've used a normal armor hardener. Normally, when I'm using a hardener, it's going to be a reactive armor hardener. I don't really like single damage type hardeners. Yeah, it's long, but it doesn't feel that long, Ectoplasm. It's definitely not the 30 seconds under damage control, that's for damn sure. The only reason you would use small cap charges is if you know you're going to be fighting something with newts. Yeah, well, I did fight the guy. Oh, we're going to actually, I guess, get Blanika's opinion here. Drag that out and he can defend himself or defend his choice. Set you a mail. What is this? Okay. I expect to get stream snipe. I expect to get stream snipe. If you want to stream sniping, that's fine. It's part of the game. It's part of running around without a stream delay. So, thanks for the fight. That's all I have to say. Thank you. You don't have to feel bad about it. Is that his cat? Did he legitimately send me a picture of his cat? He sent me a picture of his cat. Oh my god. That's fucking adorable. Here, I just stream sniped you. Good fight. I feel bad, so here's my picture of my cat. Dude. That's +1 on my book right there. Give me a fight and you send me a picture of your cat. It's not every day that someone's a gentleman enough to send me a picture of their pussy, so... How about that? Looks like Null sent something as well. I mean, I agree about... I agree. I think most people agree that having the larger cap booster chargers are the way to go. Okay, so, for example, a ship that I would think is something that you'd want to use a smaller cap booster charger. Typically, that would be on frigates. Frigates are a type of ship that I normally would think about using 200 instead of Navy 400 charges. The reason for that is total frigate capacitor usually it doesn't reach 400 cap, so you'd have to be waiting until you're completely out of cap to boost up to use that Navy 400. Whereas 200 booster charges fit much better into your cap. And the difference in cap per second isn't that much of isn't that greater between 400s and 200s. Assault ships tend to not be all that bad, but T1 frigates, they tend to have problems with it. These guys are super close. Are they in the Aboon Gate? Interesting. How's it going, Darwin? When are you going to upgrade the Tech 3 Feta? When I've deserved it. When I've earned it, Mini Excite. I don't think I've earned the trust of the Fido Empire. So far, I've only been using their Tech 2 variants. Oh, did they all jump? Where's this auger? I know he's super close, but maybe it's POS junk? Yeah. Alright, let's see what this Capacitor's up to. $400s and $200s vary a lot. How do you mean? How do you mean, Queenie? What do you mean by that? Reload time is less than cycle time. Yeah? So even if you boost 200 from a 400 cap booster due to cap limitation, it's on par with 200s. That's not true, Queenie, because you have the cycle time. So you'll have a 10-second cycle time, then you have a 10-second reload time. So it's a 20-second total time between injections. That's actually the best argument I've ever heard from a semiconductor rig, Rambo. I really like that argument. Huh. So I've always used egress rigs instead of using the semiconductor rig. Neat. I like that. Do you understand what I mean, though, Queenie? I forgot to insure this ship. Did I insure that last cyclone? I did, right? Or I didn't lose it, did I? What? Oh, I didn't lose it, right? Okay, let's insure this thing. Fleet hesitation. Okay, we can insure in there. I'm pretty bad about insurance today. Yeah, with the Sentinel and all, normally you go with either an aggress rig or a CC or a semiconductor. You see a lot of people using semiconductor rigs these days. Semiconductor rigs used to be kind of expensive. They weren't often built. I think that was the big deal. But, Fintaro for the longest time used semiconductors. I guess Rambo does as well. But, I never really felt the urge or the need to use a semiconductor. The nice thing about a CCC or a semiconductor is that you're always going to get that cap recharge. Whereas an aggress rig, you only get cap gains if you're applying your newts. I didn't see that big of a deal, but actually having a semiconductor rig to make more of a cap pool so you get more out of your 400s, that's actually pretty smart. I like that. It's a really good thinking on. I just realized I saw that text up. I can delete that now. That's really good thinking. I like that. If I remember right, if you're not heating the small cap booster, with the Navy 400s you get 11 cap per second, whereas the Navy 200s you get 8 cap per second, something like that. Yeah, Rambo. Again, like way back in the day, semiconductor rigs weren't built that often, and the components for semiconductor rigs were kind of expensive. That was a really long time ago, though. That's eh. You need to boost 259 cap from a 400 without heating it, then it's on par with the 200 cap per second. Okay. So pretty much what you're saying is that you can be really inefficient with it, and it's going to be worthwhile. They only have T3 destroyers for me? Uh-oh. Okay. Unfortunately, over in the Minmatar Mar war zones, there's not much else legit. I mean, I guess we can poke into nullsec. And I have reservations about going close to an outpost to start off with this Myrmidon, just because I don't have the MJD. But then again, I mean, if I go at range, then I'd have to actually burn in if the target doesn't decide to burn out to me. I feel like it's because I don't have the MGD. I should be a lot more conservative in picking my fights, but this is my issue with being aggressive. I just want to go to where I might get a fight and then see if I can get the fight. This fucking bug. Oh, that's problematic. Oh, and Avidus as well. Eeeh. Please come to newt range. Yeah, a bit too much. Bit too much. Yeah, but you can see that not activating the cap boosters is a kind of a problem with your tank. I'm not used to running that fit. Yeah, I actually did ensure that Merm. No, I don't really wish I had his smart bomb. I think really it came down to having ECM. The Newt would have been shut off guns and stuff. I mean, smart bomb, yeah, it'd been nice for that fight, but it's not universally the right choice. I'm quite happy with having a medium newt and a small newt on there. Okay. I think I got one more in for me in me for the night. Did I take suspect for that? I did. That's unfortunate. How about that sexy new Serpentis skin, guys? Pretty cool. I like it a lot better than the kind of camo scheme that it used to have. Yeah, but on top of it all, they also had the Navitus, which unfortunately did not decide to go into newt range. It's too much stuff. That's what it really comes down to. Nothing really to take away from that fight other than I got blobbed. Speaking of which, I need to insure this one. Ekinoric. I'll insure it in low sec. I'm knowing that my luck so far tonight, I'm probably going to get a fight in high sec and lose this shit, but whatever. So in case you guys are wondering, the reason why I have split guns, ions, and neutrons is that I wanted to fit a medium newt onto this guy. I don't think a small newt is enough these days. Mostly for range. If you have like a Tech 3 destroyer with an oversized prop, it can be really important to have a medium newt just for continuing putting on neutralizer cycles onto a retreating Tech 3 destroyer. Because they miss half the time? That's not a bad thinking, Rambo. That's not bad thinking. I have ogres to hit larger ships. I've just found that ogres normally do fine against destroyers as well, as long as I have tackle. Now, I wasn't really shooting at all during that fight, so I don't know if I'm going to have any good examples of me hitting Algos with ogres. So I didn't really have lock for most of the fight. They're hitting. Miss, miss. Miss. Miss, miss. Yeah. My problem with Zerkers, though, is that you're dedicating towards one damage type, whereas, Thermal is more of a uniform damage type against T1 tanks. I don't know. Going for Praetors or Zerkers might be a way to move forward, but I think I'm gonna stick with ogres for now. Baraka does not mean you get more damage rolls. The way that when you group up guns, all the damage rolls for things like wrecking hits, they're calculated separately for every weapon. Splitting your guns does not give you an additional chance for wrecking hits, that sort of thing. Frost, this is a whole tank Brutix. Zerkers have the best tracking, yes, Queenie. It's Zerkers, Praetors, Wasps, then Ogres for tracking. Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of Galente Tech True Cruisers, though. Zerkers might not be a bad choice, period. I don't like thinking of using Zerkers if I'm going to be going up against these guys. Nothing? Oh, okay. I've gotten fights out of these guys in the past quite a few times. Maybe the Vexor isn't with them. Only KPT, are you using a Brutix Navy issue or a regular Brutix? Another thing about that is that I have mag stabs. You probably don't have mag stabs. I like having a little bit of gank as well. Whenever you get a wrecking shot, you always hit for the same amount, which tells me you wreck for the entire stack. No, you don't. You don't. You do have stabs. Well, I don't know. I have Tech 2 hull tinking rigs, I have Tech 2 bulkheads. Issue. So you're using the... Oh, Brutix Navy issue. Okay, yeah. Brutix Navy issue has nearly double the tank. I don't think it... I think it's a 1% chance for a wrecking shot, Queenie. I think Economic is right. It's around there though. It's like 1 or 2%. How's it going, Flubug? Hey, Strata. You should probably use one. You get a lot even more fights. Yeah, maybe. It also makes me more of a target, and it also costs a lot more risk, KPT. I've flown the Brutix Navy Brutix Navy issue a bit in the past. It's a lot better for this style of fitting because it has an application bonus. That alone makes it huge. It makes it incredibly powerful for dealing with smaller ships. When I'm shooting at frigates or destroyers, especially if they're A-B'ing, I'm relying heavily on my nuke to turn off the propulsion module, and also on the web trick to try to apply with guns. Otherwise, it's really tough to get any sort of application. Frost, I have a 3 stack of neutrons and a 3 stack of ions. Yeah, there you go, Queen. I thought the wrecking shot happened on a critical miss. Kind of. You have a 1% chance of a wrecking shot happen, which will always hit, regardless of, I think it's regardless of range and your tracking. I'm not sure if you're at like double fall off it, but you no longer have a chance of a wrecking hit. I'm not really sure how that works, actually. I still have suspect here. Ooh. What's up, guys? You have more friends on the other side? Hmm. Well, it's not that weird, Ekenorak. That just means that your only chance of getting a hit is a wrecking shot. So yeah, all of your potential hits are going to be wrecking hits. It's because it's like, you have your... It's essentially the system is you have normal application, where you have a 0 to 100% chance of hitting, and then you have this 1% chance of getting a wrecking hit. But like I'm sure that like, there's some sort of range calculation into whether or not you can get a wrecking hit, because otherwise you'd have the potential for someone to have like a bunch of sensor boosters on a blaster Megathron, just like plinking away at someone at 250 km, and then randomly getting a wrecking hit on one of his guns and insta-volleying a frigate, you know? Although I don't think a single gun wrecking can kill a frigate, but maybe like a co-ops frigate with no tank. Range isn't an application formula. I don't know how it applies to wrecking shots, though. That's what I'm talking about. Right, Quinny. So what I'm talking about as far as the application formula in wrecking shots is that the wrecking shot part of if you get a hit on something is kind of separate to everything else. Like you always have this 1% chance of getting a wrecking shot. I mean, you can kind of separate the two and say that it's separate. That's what I'm talking about. Why not like Crippa? I didn't know he had a mistress. I didn't know. That's wow. It's a different aspect of the guy. Oh, what gang is this? Sawyer is over here. Is his alt up here? No. Is that the same Sawyer? Yes, it is. Sawyer went on a field trip. Oh, are the Russians logging in? Or I don't know who Aim to Misbehave is. That's like a 6 to 8 man gang, regardless. Let's head over to mid system and see what's going on. I love this skin, by the way. I love that each one of these, every 30-day application of this skin, when I bought it, was like 2 million ISK or less. I have like 5 years of this fucking skin, this temporary skin. It's kind of silly. Flycatcher at large. It's neat. So you're saying good fight. Ooh. Not actually at the medium. What's over there? Flaggate, maybe? Mostly small stuff. I can hold up for a little while against that stuff. Well, evidently that was Sawyer's links. Good to know, good to know. Anyway. Tracking camera. Looks like people are leaving. Yeah, people are leaving. I'm guessing to a boon? Follow that way. How goes the PvP? It's okay, Mirkan. Not a lot of stuff around, but it's the time of the day. How many sig figs they use? What does it matter? Do you have a bonus for carrying coffee and dancers? You could say that I don't, Beer Gutman. In fact, I have a negative bonus for carrying them because I'm using expanded cargo holds. Not expanded, sorry. Reinforced bulkheads, which reduce my cargo. I don't think I insured the Brutix. Thanks for the reminder. No, I did not. So insure it really quick. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, insure the ship, not just repair, insure. I don't think I saw them in Boone, so I'm probably just gonna move on. Let's go to our normal room path. Tater, it's gonna pick up the keyboard. It's gonna pick up the keyboard, unfortunately. Let's see here. Yeah, the only time you're gonna hear the keys though is when I'm actually talking. So it's just how I have my setup right now. Like I don't have like a boom arm that can move the microphone away from the keyboard. But even if I did, you probably would still hear the keyboard. It's the sensitivity of the microphone at and stuff like that. Hi, Grim. Okay, I'm assuming Grimm's coming along to tag along. You have red cherry buttons? The keys on my keyboard do have red LEDs, yes. Only has minimal intervals 1, so the minimum is 1%. Then you'll never hit. No, I don't understand when you say you'll never hit. No, I don't understand that. Well, this is a good sign, a whole bunch of capsules. Good sign of not getting a fight. Or maybe getting a fight. The guys kill them. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, do you have a mechanical keyboard? No, it's actually not a mechanical keyboard. It's just kind of a noisy, non-mechanical keyboard. Actually, it's about as noisy as a... It's not a particularly noisy keyboard. Like, I used to have a really old, cheap Dell keyboard that was fairly silent. I mean, this thing's not designed to be a silent keyboard, but it's not especially noisy. Just the keyboard is like all 6 inches away from the microphone, I think is why it's loud for you guys. Yeah, these are the guys that we were trying to get a fight with, so I'm assuming they ran into these dudes, which I think are the guys with the griffin that killed me earlier, yeah? Probably? Yeah, it's the same group. They're all going to be inside, though. These are all Facor pilots. They're all going to be in it for the LPs. So, unless I can, say, open up a Plex, I don't think these guys are going to go for me. And they don't really have any incentive to go for me, so... Unless they think they can kill me. And this is the only complex that is available right now. I can't open up a large or anything like that. So I guess I'll wait on the outside here for a moment and see if they decide to warp off, warp back. I'd imagine they're not going to do that, though. I wish I could just, like, flash my solo PvPer card and let myself in, It's like, hey man, I'm here to give them a fight. They have a griffin. I'm not a huge fan of the griffin. I much prefer to be flying a Blackbird just because I get more jammies. There's recent, like with the rebalancing, the Griffin was made a much better ship, but I don't like the number of jams on it. But I guess it's not as bad these days because you can just throw a depot in it and just constantly swap out your jams to what you need to be jamming. Queenie, out of curiosity, I think this is actually a very good question. Why do you care about this? Are you talking about like this is what's going to determine whether or not you can get a wrecking hit at like extreme range? Is that the source of why you're even considering this? You're a nerd? Okay. Well, there's more to it though, Queenie. There's more to it. Not only are you a nerd, you're a nerd that cross-dresses in EVE Online, which means that I can look at your butt. Your pretend internet butt. Deal with it. I guess I can just scan it myself. Alright, Grim, I hope you're listening. Should be a pretty difficult fight for me if I don't get help. Did you get new pants? No, I didn't notice. Do they have these little lines here? You had black pants before. Is it like the little silver little lining here? Kind of like highlighting your outer thigh? Hey, Grave Titan. This is Sardcade right here. Host for the show. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Grim. Fucking Sawyer. Got jumped out. Damn. Get it back on track. Time was off a little. Yeah. Hey, Space Boy, how's it going, man? This is a live stream, Vindictive. The only delay that you have is a delay of my video going to the Twitch servers and back over to you. I don't like this remix. Didn't even realize it was on a remix. Let's see. E3, I think like the one thing I wanted to see from E3, although I'm not gonna watch it or anything, but is I wanted to hear what YouTube has for its plans for video game streaming. I think they're going to make announcements at E3. I'm actually quite excited for that. Yeah, no, I will be at eVegas. That's correct. I will be there. I'm not going to be doing any of the what are the things? I'm not going to be one of the guys doing the talks or anything like that, but I will be attending. So, other people watch your stream, find where you are, and bring you a fight? Yes! Actually, it's happened tonight. It's happened, I think, twice tonight. I think I saw some guy lose his carrier that way. Yeah. There's one dude, like, maybe a year or so, that very famously lost a carrier ratting in nullsec while streaming. The guy's really nice. I think that was Falnar, a really nice guy. Mind. It happens. I don't think it happens as often as people might expect. But it does happen with some frequency. It really depends on what I'm flying, really. If I'm in a more expensive ship, the chances go up. That minimal value for the effort gets lowered. People think that so it's more worth their time to stream snipe. The Pharaox had no point. Grim, so the Pharaox actually went back to the Plex. Is he actually at the Plex now? Grim? I saw things on Eve Valkyrie, I think some other games, Eve Universe, and some kind of first third person game. Is it tied to EVE Online? Yes, it's tied to the franchise. It's very likely that EVE Valkyrie itself won't directly affect EVE Online, the MMO. Right now, there's another game called Dust 514, which is tied to EVE Online. It actually affects gameplay in EVE Online, the MMO, but it's very minimal. The impact is very, very minimal. Oh, we worked to the Outgate. Shoot. Maybe I should go back there. Your HOTAS setup? What's a HOTAS setup? And Sawyer died. No! Sawyer, no! Have you heard about Legion? As I understand, Mickey, Legion is on the back burner for Eve, for CCP. It's a good range to come in at. And there's the Ferox. Oh, the more warped! God damn it! Oh, it's a third-party Bellicose too. Shit. Oh, it's gonna take me a while to burn back. Uh. Uh. What is this? Sucks about the rapier. That really does suck about the rapier. I just realized there's a nemesis right next to me. Oh my gosh. I'm so bad at this game. And there's the webs. He's approaching me though. What? What? Is it because the Manicore's actually in range? That's not gonna work well for you, mate. Yeah. I'm about out of buffer though, let's get out. That was silly. That was like a three-way or four-way? A Grim was helping me out. I'm hoping Grim got out. I don't think there's anything to tackle and left there. Oh my goodness. I'm guessing the rapier is an alt? Not really sure why he'd approached me, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I messed up the first time? What did I do, Null? I wanted, like, okay, I had two bombers next to me. I mean, I could have kept the scrambler on the rapier if I wanted to, but I didn't want the bomber to warp out. I should have kept the scram on the rapier, I know. I'm quite certain of that. I was just worried about the bomber warping out. Moonman, this is a whole tank Brutix. Michael, I would hope so. But, I mean, to be fair, it was only like one or two volleys of torpedoes left for me to die, so. Yeah, I mean, I should have had the rapier dead, like, pretty much at the start of the fight. But I was really fucking worried about 4 bombers laying in their torpedo payload into me. Because that would have been 4 bombers applying perfectly. We need to move to Calgal. Calgal can be pretty good, yeah. XLASP, I like that type of repair. Oh, this is gonna be expensive. 8 mil? 5 mil. It's not too bad. Where was I? That was in Hiri. I didn't loot anything, guys. I mean, in KD, yeah, I did quite well, but I didn't loot anything, so it's not like I made any money off that. KD's kind of pointless, though. And Grim made it out in his Vexor, so goodness. Never moved on, ever moved on. Dang it. Dang it. Alright, let's go to Pine Coast and see if anything's going on over there. Yeah, I mean, Calgal, it's hit and miss, Queenie. It's blobbier than a Mini MR. It's way blobbier. I generally prefer Mini MR when there is content. But like you said, I mean, especially when you get deep into US prime time, it just tends to be dead. Calgal tends to have a little bit more activity, so it's just better. But it can be hit and miss. I'm tempted to go in after that, but why? Why would I ever do that to myself? Oh, hello. I don't know why I locked a gate, but I did. Oops. Oh my. Okay, I'll shoot the red ship. Looks like he's running away. Yeah, he's trying to run. That's a mistake. Popo looks like he's just pulling away now. He's not orbiting anymore? I think he's just running away. Yeah, he's just running away. That's a fast afterburner. Or it's a slow WD. I'm guessing it's a fast afterburner. Is it light missiles? Oh, no shit, okay. Good fight. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get any like decent hits with the web tricking on the Comet. Kind of sad about that. A little bit. See, Brock. Azu, I disagree. Slave armor tanks are pretty freaking infuriating as far as passive tanks go. And then if you get a really decent shield passive resist buffer, that can be also incredibly infuriating to deal with. Oh, another flycatcher. Yeah, I figured as much. Guys were in less expensive stuff. I have a question. How can someone steal your ISK without making a transaction in your transaction log? I just lost 600 million ISK last night when I woke up, and there's literally no trace and it was there, so I'm confused. From how you're describing the situation, I think we're going to have a hard time explaining to you what happened. So I'm not really sure what your situation is and how that happened. But people can't just steal money from you. That's not possible in this game. The only way for you to lose money like that is, say, if you set up a wish to buy order on the market, if you accepted a contract, something like that. You can't these players can't just take money out of your wallet. Unless, like, say they have the access to your account and they can actually log in and transfer it. Alcohol. That's actually a very good explanation, vindictively. I did not shoot your Comet Sniper. Oh, would you look at that hyena? I bet Finn would not see it coming of me tackling and blowing him up. I totally should do that. Random question. I paid for subscription time. I have not received. Definitely game time, not Plex. I put in a support ticket and it's been 4 days. Is this normal? What can I do? You paid for, so you subbed your account. Okay, so you bought a game time card, or did you sub your account through the EVE Online website? That's not normal, no. Normally, the GMs will get back to you very quickly. CP doesn't work on weekends, but 4 days means it's been longer than the weekend midcon. You subbed. Okay, yeah, that's very unusual, Dolgan. That's very, very unusual. You could try sending them an email. You can also try to file a stuck petition. If you go to your EVE Online account management, you can make a petition, you can do stuck petitions, stuff like that. But I'm guessing they're going to get back to you on Monday. But stuck petitions, GMs will immediately review the your issue, and that I think is something that's very valid for you're stuck. You can't even log in. Dolgan, the customer support for CCP, it's pretty good. They should get back to you on Monday. But again, so if you go to your EVE Online account management, you can file a petition, file a stuck petition. Stuck petitions, GMs they're pretty much required. They'll review them in minutes. Do I usually use a year bundle? Yes, I do. Am I currently using links? No, I'm not. Loki, the Vexer is actually a viewer. He's just helping out. He's been helping me out like from the get go. So I'm not gonna shoot him. Yeah, also, you shot me first. Just saying, Loki. It's gonna take getting used to the new overview icons. Yeah, it will. It probably will take at least 2 weeks to get used to. I'm still not quite used to them. There's some of them I'm not really a fan of. There's some aspects of the design I'm not a fan of, but I've been giving it time to try to get used to. You had them in 30% structure? Oh, wow! Ah, jeez. I didn't realize you guys swapped targets at the towards the end. Yeah, Dolgan, you should be fine. Like, the intent and purpose of a stuck petition is if you're not, if something's happening in the game where you're not able to play the game, a GM, it's the stuck petition is prioritized over everything else. Like if they get a stuck petition, they immediately go and work on that to get players back into the game. Usually it's for bugs. Like you have some some bug where you just can't do anything, you're stuck. If you have an account issue, that sounds like a reasonable use of the stuck petition for me. Oh, I got you lucky. Oh, Eve Uni, huh? Where are you going? I'll wrap up before I do anything here, and I also need to get another drop pill. You made a Merlin pass a tank 300 DPS. Wow. Yeah, Old Man, it's not a very fun place these days, Vindiculate. It's one of the few hardcore pirate corporations lives there, and they are very good at giving you one-sided engagements. That said, I've gotten a lot of decent range 1v1s out of them. But when they're doing their normal modus operandi, I have no desire to go through that system. Drop. In this station? Yeah, it's actually cheap too. That's some good drop. Good value to that drop. Get in my belly. Oh, it's because I don't need the ship speed anyway. Who cares about that? Where does Shadow Cartel live now? They live in this area somewhere. I'm not too good. I don't know. I see them roam around occasionally. I don't really know where they live out of though. Hey, Doom. I see that your that PL is enjoying wormholes. Hooray, wormholes. Can you shed a little light into sinusoidal fields? I was told never to jump to one. Is that right? um. Well, sinos aren't the issue. It's what's going to come through the sino. What's going to use a jump drive and go to the sino. That's the issue. Ships that use a sinusoidal field are stuck in that spot for 10 minutes. So they're actually very easy to kill as long as they don't have the support from fleet mates. But you can't actually jump through a sino. You can't jump to a sino unless your ship has a jump drive. And the only ships with jump drives are capital ships. Black Ops ships can do that, or ships that can bridge other ships onto a sino. So Black Ops can bridge Covert Ops, Cloak ships. Titans can bridge any ship to a sino. Doom, you're such an asshole. This is your way of getting back at the world for being short, isn't it, Doom? You and your fucking Napoleon complex. You gotta shit on everything, Doom. You're better than that, Doom. You're better than that. Come on, man. Did you word deck me too? Let me check. Okay. I have no idea. I don't follow Game of Thrones. I mean, I have a guy on my Steam friends list that is named something something Jon Snow dies in book something. Is he online right now? No. Oh my gosh, you're the Romana. You're the only person I've ever heard that says Game of Thrones sucks. Too many plots. Oh, uh-oh. Look out. We got the critique over here. Critical reviews. Hey, look, Tristan. I don't know about that, Leia. I don't mind enjoying some good TV. Is Game of Thrones on Netflix? It's not on Netflix, is it? If it's on Netflix, I'll probably get started with it. That's an Armageddon. Ugh. It's not an Armageddon? Or sorry, it's not on Netflix. Damn. Yeah, I just got caught up with House of Cards. And I wasn't too impressed by the later seasons of it once Frank Underwood assumes presidency. Oh god, spoilers. I'm sure everyone's watched it. But yeah. I thought it was okay. Up until then, though, it was a fantastic show. Couch Tuner? That was Couch Tuner. Is that like Netflix? Halt and Catch Fire is good. What's that? I don't watch TV. I recently just resubscribed for Netflix, so I don't really know anything. I watched Daredevil and I thought that was awful. Heard a lot of people talking about that recently. Yeah, Vindictive, it's something that I'm really trying to work on, is actually just talking through engagements. Like, I have, like, two things that I have going on. I'm trying to be, like, an engaging, fun, interactive broadcaster, but I'm also trying to be informative, and I guess I have three things going on, and trying to improve my gameplay. Halt and Catch Fire is on Netflix, okay. So I'm just trying to, like, one of my number one things is just multitasking a game and just kind of making sure I'm going over all of the information my UI is giving me. So my positioning on grid and ship positioning on grid, what's going on in my overview, module management, heat management, double checking local count, which could be kind of difficult with a cat GIF. But doing just like the UI management and then saying what I'm trying to do in a fight, oh man, it's a lot. It's quite difficult to try to do. It's and like the past week or so, I've been really bad about just explaining what I'm trying to do, which I'd like to do more of. So far, it's more of a spectacle when I get in a fight. It's not so much me talking about the fight. It's more like I talk like before the fight and after the fight, which is okay, but I think I can do better about it. I think I can do a better job of saying like different things I'm trying to do at different points in a fight. Wait, did I just go backwards? God damn it. Forgot that my gold gate was the old man. Oh, you know, fuck this. It's way too late. I need to go home. Move the selected item box over your gun modules, easier management. Yeah. I know it's honestly something I should do. The problem I have with the whole selected items thing, though, is that you can't have your overview populate from the bottom and then sort up. If you could have that, then I could have this guy down here, and then I could, click on something and then approach, orbit, whatever. Whereas where it's at right here, I can quickly sort through things as they sort to the top, and then click on commands like approach, warp at, orbit, whatever. So that's kind of my reasoning for having it like this. A lot of players transition to having their overview down here, and their selected items down here, or their overview up here, and then their selected items right here. And it's, it's shorter distance for you to move your mouse, which is nice, but I mitigate a lot of that by having shortcuts. I have everything bound to shortcuts. So ideally, I'm not clicking on my modules at all. So it's less hassle having to actually activate, deactivate modules, that sort of thing. Why don't I right-click? Because right-clicking can be, you can miss a lot with right-clicking. I don't like right-clicking. I do occasionally right-click, but I prefer not to. It's inaccurate. If anything, if I'm going to do something like that, I'd rather use the radial. I think the radial is a lot more accurate. There's a lot more margin for error of you getting, say, the jump, orbit, whatever, versus the right-click menu. It's very easy to get the wrong menu options and go into sub-menus accidentally, and then if you're trying to get into a sub-menu item, accidentally move past and then lose the right menu. The right menu is not really good for on-the-fly stuff. Romana, it's all about practice. You practice with it and you'll get used to it. It just takes time. It's the same thing with the new brackets and overview icons. You're going to get used to it. It's just going to take time. Well, okay, here's an honest question for you guys. Have you guys ever just tried using it for, like, say, a week? Not a day and then giving up, but actually trying it for a solid week? Have any of you guys that said you never figured it out just tried it for, like, a period of time? Because the problem of just trying it for a day or anything like that is that you haven't devoted to muscle memory. Until you devote it to muscle memory, or you, say, devote your icons to memory, you're not going to be used to it. You're not going to be able to use it fluidly. So these, like, when you're looking at new UI interactions, like ways to interact with your UI, it's going to take time to develop. So you can't just, like, blow something off and say it's awful without trying it, and actually giving it an honest, like, a time for you to build muscle memory and build skill with it. Because now that I've gotten used to it, I love the radial menu. There's aspects of it I'm bad at, like keep it range. I'm not used to this motion. I'm good at orbits. I'm not good at keep it range. It's something I need to work on, is keep it ranges. But I can very accurately set warp distances, set orbit distances. I'm very comfortable using the radial. Another thing that's really nice about the radial is, let's say I want to warp immediately to something. In the past, you had to right-click a whole bunch of times on the right-click menu, right? Because it doesn't change context. It doesn't actively change context. So when I'm in warp, it's going to give me commands that you could have from when you're in warp. So if I want to warp over to Kesselmon right here, I have to wait until I drop out of warp here to get the right context menu. So now I can warp to it. Whereas with the radial, it will update. It's one of the biggest strengths of the radial menu. It automatically updates, and you'll get the command immediately without having to constantly right-click. See, if I cancel warp here, it updates. Now I can warp immediately. I'm flying a 7 billion ISK battleship. I'm not risking it on a radial. I'm not telling... I mean, try it with ships you can afford to lose, for sure. Another kind of cool thing is you can use the radial menu on bookmarks. So you can actually immediately warp to something. The only bad thing is that you can't use like fleet warp commands, anything like that. It's only basic functionality. It doesn't have all of the nuances and all of the nitty-gritty that a right-click context menu will have. No, I'm always at work when the 07 show's playing, and I didn't actually see the fight or the fitting or anything like that for the 07 show warp. Yeah, I mean these days I always drag modules onto the fitting menu to fit things. It's a lot faster than right clicking. Usually, anyway. Sometimes if there's a stack of modules, I'll use the right click. I mean, like another example is assigning shortcuts to individual modules. So using shortcuts for my high slots, my low slots, and my mid slots. That's something that is very powerful. If you can devote that to memory, devote that to muscle memory where your modules are and activate them with your right hand, you just freed up your mouse to doing other things, like such as going over the overview and interacting with the selected items or moving around and looking around in space while you're turning off your entity or turning off your guns or activating your guns, things like that. But moving away from the F1 through F8 to assigning all these shortcuts, it's going to be a very hard transition. You're going to lose ships and you're going to die in terrible manner. But transitioning to having shortcuts for all your modules means that you're freeing up this movement of your mouse to other things. And what made me take the move from clicking on modules to activating them to using shortcuts was the XL ASB Vagabond, dual prop XL ASB Vagabond. That thing had gun rack, it had a newt, it had an MWD, it had a long point, it had an afterburner, the XL ASB, a damage control. It has an absurd amount of active modules that you constantly have to swap between. There is no way in hell you can nano in a Vagabond and still manage all those modules. You have to have shortcuts for all those modules. And the most frustrating thing about it is that not only are you trying to nano and, manage ranges and shit, you're trying to learn shortcuts. It was one of the most challenging things, but it was so rewarding to learn how to do that and do that quite effectively. And if you get in the zone, do it really well. It's just awesome. It's one of the most enjoyable things is to manage your shortcuts with one hand, and then with your other hand, focus your attention on your overview, on local, on your module management, and watching heat, on positioning around fields, seeing things coming onto your overview, without having to look down here to manage your going between afterburner, managing your ASB, managing your tackle, stuff like that. It's fantastic. It's like next level stuff. Yeah, the Razer mouse. Isn't the Razer one, it's the Razer Naga, right? The 20 buttons? I hear a lot of people do that. Use that for module management. Real boy, yeah, it's getting late for me. I'm gonna be taking off soon. I use voice control for shortcuts. I can just shout my MD and turns it on. Are you serious, Pat? That would be awesome if you did. God, what was that? There was an indie game that came out recently that it's I think a turn-based action game, or was it real-time action? But it works off voice commands. It sounded so weird. It sounded like really fun, but unfortunately, I guess the gameplay itself, it's only a couple hours of in gameplay, which sucks. I bet Pat picked that up from Garmin. Garmin drunkenly screaming into his microphone for people to die and shit. Oh my god, please die! Which means overheat your guns. It's a game. The game understands it. It's bad when you're on TeamSpeak? Ah, okay. That's pretty cool that you're experimenting with that, though, Pat. That's pretty cool. I respect that. Alright, take it easy, Grim. Thanks for coming along. I saw that mod, Finn. I never used it. I focused on doing immersion mods for Skyrim. I haven't played it in a long time though. And I figure I'm probably not going to play it anytime soon. I'll probably end up picking up Witcher if I ever feel the need to go into a highly immersive first person game into the future. Although I don't think the new Witcher one's first person because it's over the shoulder. Same difference though. Same kind of gameplay. Romana, you could. The way that kind of stuff works, you definitely could. At least I'd imagine you could. Is it through a third? Is it a utility, like a third party application for that stuff, Pat? It probably is. It'd have to be. Yeah, yeah, and it would correspond with buttons, with keystrokes. So you say something and a keystroke happens. Yeah. Okay, got it. Remote controller ships via TeamSpeak. Rambo, no, 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 no! You just, oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. You could totally do that. You could totally fucking do that too. Ah, you just revolutionized nullsec PvP, Rambo. Good job. Good job, dude. Real boy, I often get shot first. It has a lot to do with flying in battlecruisers and battleships with low scan resolution. It means that I tend to lock things after they lock and start shooting me. So a lot of my PvP is actually defensive. So that cuts down on the need to take a security status hit. Beyond that, though, I don't pod people. That helps a lot. I tag my sex data set. Like, probably every week or so, I have to throw in about 100 mil worth of tags plus the 25 mil it takes to convert them. So, it's a fair bit of money, but I like to keep my security status up. Voice-activated target selection? Yeah, I guess there's some things you can't really... There aren't shortcuts for. You can't, like, cycle through locked targets. I'm sure people will find a way, though. MGD. I must be rich? I'm very asset rich, real boy. I have, probably a bit over 20 billion ISK worth of stuff. I don't have a lot of liquid ISK. I'm not... I guess you could say I have a lot of old money. Pretty much the way that I keep myself from having to grind too much. I'm actually fairly good at staying like kind of ISK neutral and kill deaths. I scoop a fair bit of loot. I fly in Tech 1 ships. I'm flying ships I can afford. So what money I have, it goes a long, long, long way because I don't tend to fly faction ships or Tech 2 ships that don't insure well. But I have ISK that I've pretty much built over, 5 to 8 years that I've been playing. Alright guys, well, that is going to be the stream for tonight. I don't know if anyone's interested in picking it up, if Blood or Finn or anything like that is interested in streaming. Let me check to see if any Eve streams I know are active right now. That's really just myself right now, isn't it? I don't know any of these other guys. Well, Finn or Blood, are you guys interested in doing some streaming? Or Pat, for that matter. I think Pat streams occasionally. But while I'm waiting for an answer from that, so yeah, guys, I mean, for all those guys that are just new to the stream or anything like that, again, I'm Starcade. I do a lot of solo and a little bit of small gang PvP, mostly around low sec, sometimes into wormholes and null sec, mostly back war low sec. I do lots of bigger ship stuff like battlecruisers, battleships. I enjoy flying that kind of stuff. So if you enjoy that kind of content, please follow on Twitch. Follow on Twitter. Twitter's probably the best way to know when I go live. Twitch, sometimes the notifications get they don't send out properly. Twitter, I always tweet when I go live, and I will say if I'm doing something interesting, unique, special. If you scroll down, there's a whole bunch of information on the stream. I do have a schedule. I stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The tweets are pretty good for when I stream on off days like today, Sunday. Sometimes I do things that are extra special, unique, or I'll kind of help other streamers out. But don't really have anything crazy coming up. I'd like to get another one of those podcasts in, and I have a couple topics now that I really want to talk about. The guidance computers. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, so I need to figure out who to do that with. But until then, I'll be live tomorrow at 0100 Eve time. That's 6 o'clock PST. So until then, have a good night, guys. Fly reckless, and I'll see you then. Oh, how much did we raise? We raised over 80 billion ISK. So I think we're gonna get in. We did amazing. You guys were crazy. We're crazy with your generosity. I can't thank you guys enough. I think we, fingers crossed. They haven't announced everything yet, but I think we got in. So, we'll know on Monday. But I guess I can talk about that on Monday's stream. So I'll see you guys then.